you want. I'm supposed to share it with you, but I don't want to be the only one speaking. So if it's okay with the project leads who are sitting here, would you be okay sharing your project status? I'm gonna share the things that were submitted, but I'll talk about the city side. I can tell you that on the side of the grantee, which is the part that Matthias and I are working on, as well as Lena and Samantha and the rest of the team from the city, we finalized 6 out of the 7 contracts that we have with partners that have been executed, and there's just one that is on the pipeline, but it's hopefully getting executed this week. I hope. I'm crossing my fingers with UC Berkeley. And we have agreements in process for City Council approval. That's going to happen on March 19th. We got a grant to keep our technical assistance, which means we will be able to keep PlaceWorks hopefully for the rest of the year. So they're providing us $150,000 to be able to keep our project management, and that is only for keeping technical assistance. So that means we'll have Rachel and the team from PlaceWorks for a little longer than we expected. Hiring staff, well, the city hired me and then hired Matthias, and that took a long time. You don't know how bad it is to do government processes, but we got that done. And we were supposed to host our first CSP meeting during the first 3 months of the grant. So here we are. That was part of the grantees work, and we were supposed to have translation, refreshment, and childcare. By the way, you've been Leticia Oregon, who's in the back, our interpreter, and we have First Five and Rising Puntos for supporting us with childcare in the room next door. So for the next meeting, if you want to bring kids or family or any other members who are accompanying you and would need childcare, the childcare will be available next door. It's available right now, but it will be available for partners and for people of the public. So that, and we have burritos on the table in case you are hungry. Please feel free to grab them. We also have been doing invoicing and reporting. We submitted our 3rd report last week. Our total expenditure up to date is $62,872, and we still have a budget of $630,000. $803.51 remaining. And for the next 2 weeks, we will be circulating the meeting summaries from today. We will be coordinating city trainings for reporting leverage, which is an important report that we will be submitting in August. And we will be invoicing and reporting and responding to SEC questions on invoice 3, which is always an iterative process. And we'll be paying and processing invoices from partners. So thanks everyone for keeping your invoices and reporting on time. And we have neighborhood complete streets project. As you probably know, this project is supposed to create 2 complete streets within the project area, and they prepare the request for proposals. They use their own full contract, and they submitted plans to professional civil design services, and they just received a proposal. So that means we have a design team who's working already on the development of this project and the grant, and we will hear from them in the next couple of weeks about the review of this proposal. So hopefully we have someone already working on this project. And the total expenditure up to date is $3,846.71, and we have a budget of $5,177,326.43 left for remaining budget. And I will let Terrence do the Richmond Wellness Trail.
All right, so for the Wellness Trail, we recently made a selection for the landscape architect for the project, and it's going to be PlaceWorks after about a month of looking at really competitive proposals, price and scope-wise. In the next 2 weeks, we're hoping to do the contracting process with the landscape architect, so we're finalizing scope and budget with them. And we'll begin site assessment with PlaceWorks. They understand that they did the design for phase 1, but it'll be good for them to be out on site and kind of have their subs do some assessment work. And expenditures are about 6,000, and we have 4.8 million left.
Thank you so much, Jerns. And that's what you want.
Yes, so we grew a pipeline of like 20 clients since the beginning. I've been conducting canvassing efforts and different outreach efforts in Richmond, as well as online outreach and as well as like phone outreach to clients. We to date have provided solar assessments for 5 clients, and we have provided energy efficiency assessments for about 12 clients. Our expenditures to date are $55,137.76, and we still have a remaining budget of $6,911,558.15. And what we have planned for the next couple of weeks are community solar workshop presentations where we are visiting local businesses and communicating the TCC Richmond Rising project and the benefits and why they should take part.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. E-bike lending library, do we have anyone who would like to speak about that? If you want, you don't need to.
Well, hi.
You can introduce yourself. I'm sorry that.
I'm Ellie. I'm the project manager for the EBLL library project. Currently, we have posted, interviewed, and hired me.
Yeah.
We also hired a architect to create the conceptual design for the building. We have $0 in our expenditures.
Not for long.
Not for long. Yeah. We're currently working on our invoicing. And then our remaining budget is $2,461,002.00. And for the next 2 weeks, we are hoping to finalize the design of the building and develop and design a community outreach and engagement plan for the building designs.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Chito, it's all yours.
Yeah, right on. This is one of 4 projects. So project 5, Basins of Relation, work completed since our last meeting is, we started our water conservation program. We hired a water conservation manager. We implemented our fall 2023 Basins of Relation training program, graduated 8 apprentices from that program, which was a 15-week intensive training program. And then hired exceptional program graduates into permanent roles within Urbanville. And also developed a homeowners agreement and outreach plan for upcoming gray water installation. Total expenditures is $95,685.93. Remaining budget is $1.5 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks is to begin installation of free laundry to landscape gray water systems for Iron Triangle homeowners.
That's amazing.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Just from the evaluation, when you go to those homeowners and gonna install those things, like, do you know, like how much water or like what is going to the sewer or to some other system before you're capturing it into gray water, like per day or week or liters or something like that?
Right, yeah. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I could bring that up
Okay, cool.
to them to make sure to try to measure that.
Just a question.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe this is a good time. We usually do it at the end of the report. But are there any other questions in relationship to the rest of the projects that we have talked about? Because I know it's a long conversation about each of the projects, but is there any questions from the group here of project leads? No.
Chito,
Yes.
I saw on, let's see, next door, Felix Hunziker asked about, he's in the north and east, and this is for Santa Fe, Coronado, Iron Triangle.
Right.
And somebody wrote to go ahead and apply anyway for the project, and I'm just wondering, in general, I know that this project was specific for this area.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you're urban.
Expanding it, yeah.
Expanding it
Mhm.
outside
I
of this
believe we may be, but there might be other sources of funding that is able to expand our work.
Okay.
But definitely, yeah, we want to focus our efforts with, TCC funded project area, but yeah, why not expand it if we can? And I believe we are.
Yeah, we'll apply to.
Are there any other questions from the committee? I will do public comment at the end if anyone else wants to ask questions. So I'm gonna let Oscar Mario
Okay, let's see.
there.
Can't read that, but off the top of my head, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, right, we got it. So we completed our outreach plan, our tree planting plan, and our project managers and our urban forestry manager are sourcing trees, potential trees from our tree list for the sites. We've been doing outreach. We've had 3 outreach events, and we hired an outreach coordinator as part of the plan, and is working with our workforce team doing canvassing in all the neighborhoods. Let's see, they've had 3 canvassing dates in addition to the 3 outreach dates. We've been tabling at Martin Luther King Day. We also tabled at Atchison Village and at somewhere on the Greenway besides Unity Park. Let's see, we hired our main staff for a project manager that's doing our leverage project on the Richmond Parkway. It's on the Iron Triangle. We're also in the process of hiring another lead person for the Bosque project specifically. And so that's 3 hires. So the last part clear and grubbing designated tree planting, the MAPS project is on the Richmond Parkway. So we have a whole tree crew that's going up and down that part. We're planting 1,000 trees. So 500 is from the leverage project and 500 is from the Bosque. Total expenditures date 40,000 and remaining budget 1,047,000. And for the next 2 weeks, continuing with the hiring as well as the leverage project, which is a huge project and undertaking along the parkway, not the green.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, so project number 7, our ADA garden, we did a final design session feedback session with the target demographic to adjust our ADA garden design. We did a pre-application meeting with the city of Richmond. And we also did a walkthrough of the proposed garden site with our project coordinator, our design architect team, city of Richmond, and electrical engineers. Total expenditures to date, 22,473. And then the remaining budget is 932,000. Our planned work in the next 2 weeks is to begin drafting up construction documents and prepare submittal for the design review board. And project number 8, Orchards for All. Work completed since the last meeting. We've been conducting interviews to hire a gleaners coordinator to expand our Orchards for All team. We sourced 400 trees for our annual fruit tree giveaway, which is this Saturday from 10 to 1 from a local nursery, Planting Justice, out in East Oakland. We sent out postcard mailers to the project area to inform them about the annual fruit tree giveaway. And we've also created a gleaners program outreach plan. Total expenditures has been 30,969,000, and remaining budget is going to be 1.1 million. Our planned work in the next 2 weeks is to host the annual fruit tree giveaway at Unity Park Plaza this Saturday, hire our gleaners coordinator, and then begin to follow up with the fruit tree giveaway recipients. And then project 9, veggie art X. Work completed since the last meeting. We began the interview process for a new veggie RX project manager. Our MOU was also refined with Lifelong Medical. We set reoccurring meetings with project team to build a clear pathway towards expansion of 200 bag recipients, so 200 produce bag recipients. Total expenditures to date, $18,007. Remaining budget is 3.2 million. Our planned work in the next 2 weeks is to hire and begin onboarding and training our new veggie RX project manager, finalize our invoice 1 and 2 back billing, finalize all tracking and process documents for billing and patient referral management, and design templates for annual distribution log and procurement reports.
And this is actually e-by chair, which is a joint project from right today and the city of Richmond. And the work completed since last meeting, which is not last meeting, but this is how the format is gonna work. Is continue working with community-based organizations, doing outreach and launch the e-bike system. Actually, that was a ribbon cutting ceremony that happened a few weeks ago. And training higher staff that we just got new staff, including Salman into the group. Welcome. And in the process of hiring a community manager to work with stakeholders and community. Is that was that another community manager? Yeah. And completed a community outreach and engagement plan for implementation. So that's part of what you're working on, right? And total expenditures reported to date, $1,094,000 and remaining budget 3 million. And plan work in the next 2 weeks, place additional bikes for the city has identified locations, and I think specifically project area for TCC. And community engagement plan. So we began the drafting of the Richmond Rising website. So that's going to be ready probably next week. And we began the drafting of the engagement plan and the draft of the youth fellow manager job description, which is actually going to be hired by Rich City Rights. That's joint effort. And the draft of the annual youth fellow reporting documents. So youth fellows are going to join us as part of the engagement plan, and they're going to be working on specific activities, and they require us to provide them with engagement logs so that they can report on the work that they're doing. And the Youth Fellows Community Engagement Summary, which is a document that was requested by our agreement. So those are the things that we have completed. And the expenditures till now are just $2,383. We still have $2.5 million remaining in the budget. And the work plan in the next couple of weeks is finishing the community engagement plan, which is going to help us work with all of you in terms of engagement and outreach for not only the grant in general, but for each of the projects that you all are working on. Yes.
Yeah, can you say a little more about the community engagement log process? Because I know it's not my turn yet, but we've developed like a tool, like a Google sheet tracking for community engagement, like who comes, where are they from, that we were gonna share out with all the partners. And I'm not sure if you've already done something like that, so it's repetitive, or
we did it just for the activity that youth fellows are going to be focusing on. So we can definitely share that with you, and we can still do edits. This is a version that we submitted on this round of invoices to the state, so they know that we accomplished what they requested it. But that doesn't mean we can't change it. So we can always be flexible in that and share that with you. So we will share that with you at the end of the meeting here.
well, yeah, it's good, because I think it would be good if different community participation, community engagement tracking systems are measuring the same thing. So if the youth fellows are doing something and Urban Tilth is doing something and Grid is doing something different, then we don't really have an ability to
track the same information,
to compare and summarize the same things. So I think it'd be good if we're all on the same page on that.
For sure. We can definitely do that and let everyone know what is the information that we're gathering, so everyone can do it too on their events. For displacement avoidance plans, we finished the drafting of the ADU additional dwelling unit guidebook. It was completed and presented at a workshop that happened on February 28th. We also presented to City Council on March 5th, which was yesterday, public land policy framework that was completed, and we secured ARPA funding for buy local campaign and facade improvement pilot program that we still didn't have. So this was a win that we recently got. And as I mentioned, the ADU workshop was held on February 28th. Total expenditures to date from this displacement avoidance plan is $44,000, and we still have $600,000 remaining budget. And the plan working the next 2 weeks is refine the ADU guidebook and incorporate all the ADU workshop feedback that we received last week. And the workforce development plan was the total expenditures that we have had up to date is $4,430 And our remaining budget is $1.4 million. And the plan work in the next 2 weeks is review job applications to hire a new staff member, which is actually gonna manage this project. That's why we don't have a lot of work completed in here. And identify another location in the TCC area to implement the training program that they're gonna be working on. This is a place-based workforce strategy, so that's why it requires a specific manager that is working on the project area and not as in the whole city, like the project that they have at Richmond works usually works. So anyway, that was the last on the city side, but we have indicator tracking plan. So I'm gonna let Jason talk a little bit about the advance that they have had.
Okay, so since the last meeting, we synthesized a lot of the things we discussed here in this room. Many of you were here, which was a workshop to try to look at both specific indicators for your projects and the kind of outcomes and impacts that we want the whole project to have in the Iron Triangle and across the city of Richmond. We shared some information from like the Richmond Community Survey on indicators, measures of quality of life, built environment, things like that, on top of the specific things that you're gonna be required or suggested to measure along the way. So we built all that into what's called the evaluation and indicator tracking plan, and that's like 90% done. We're gonna share that with the city. And I think it's gonna come to the project leads to review as a draft. We want to get your feedback and then finalize that plan, I think by the end of March or something like that. Yeah, sure. As part of that plan, like I've been saying the last few minutes, is we've developed what they call tools. It was really just like ways of tracking information, like how many people are coming to your events? How many people are you outreaching when you're canvassing? How many people have signed up to receive a tree? How many people have agreed, or how many households have agreed to get the water savings? So we're counting a lot of things, and we're trying to develop like one central place. So we developed a shareable Google sheet with pull down menus and other things that we want to share out, and we'll be sharing out as soon as the city reviews that as a key tool. And yeah, so we collected a lot of baseline data. All that's in the draft plan. You'll be seeing that. I don't know where you got the expenditure numbers because we don't actually have a contract yet and we haven't invoiced. So we've been doing all this
For free.
for free. Yeah. So our plan in the next 2 weeks is to, like I said, get the report, which is really spells out the methodology for evaluation, specifies the indicators that we hope each project will be collecting on an annual or every 2 years or every quarter basis. It's sort of specified, and what you should expect from us on an annual report. That plan also includes a little bit on the communication of data and tracking, which we haven't talked too much about. So I think that's where it's pretty weak. So we're going to finalize that plan, and then we're going to schedule meetings where we hope to come and meet with you one-on-one to walk through the plan, specifically your project, and how we can best support your kind of data collection and reporting, both that you're required to do as part of the grant, and then also that we want to collect for the big picture, kind of what do we hope to accomplish in 5 years as a collective. And we had talked a little bit about that, and we did some of that dreaming work in the last few workshops. So that's where we are on that.
Awesome, thank you, Jason.
So, Jason?
Yeah.
Did you say afterwards or?
Actually, I was gonna say, does any project lead have any technical questions about the project status?
We're already collecting data, right? And so my question is, then you're creating a standardized indicator tracking system. How are you gonna go back and capture things that we might not be capturing that you would like to capture?
Yeah, so that's why we're gonna come out and meet with you. So there's a couple of things to answer that question. One is that the tool we're creating isn't going to capture everything. It's largely focused on process and participation and counting things that you might deliver as part of your activity. So the number of bikes, the number of trees, the number of households that receive something. So it's really more on built stuff and number of participants. If you've already got a tracking tool, we want to learn about that. We can adjust it. It's software. We can edit it. If there are things that you're tracking that we didn't think of that are important to you, we can add that to the tool. And there may be things in the tool that we've developed that you aren't tracking. What we're going to hope to do is to set up also a communication system. If it's on the cloud, like a Google shared, then you have access to it. You can put in information. And then we also get it, so we don't have to like keep bothering you. Can you send us that information, et cetera, et cetera. But there may be things that don't fit and they're only inside your organization. So in that case, we want to talk to you to figure out what's the best way to share information that we're being asked to report for all the organizations. We're kind of, coordinating that. Is that helpful? But
Yeah.
we're gonna set up a time to come out and meet with you.
And there's specific, for example, I don't know that in this grant, I can't remember if we're required to capture the GHG for all of the trees that we plant. Where does that go? And, so I mean, separately, we're tracking that.
Yeah.
Is
So
that?
that's a great example. So I think it's our charge to run the model from CARB, the Air Resources Board, to estimate the GHG savings. But you have to tell us how many trees you planted, what are those trees, what the quality of those trees, the inputs we need from you.
Thanks. Fantastic. I'm gonna ask, do we have any public comment on item 5? Related to project status reports? Yes.
This is a question for the integrated tracking plan. This might already be a problem. That's a little bit, but I wanted to see if it would be possible for we were able to upload the data from the central integration to be able to incorporate that into the tracking process.
At the moment, no, because we need to talk to you to know what we don't know enough about how transparent Richmond is built. Like, what's the data platform? What are the ways data are ingested to be displayed? So we think that the long-term answer is yes, but at the moment it's not, that we don't know. So we need to develop that plan with the city and then to select. I don't think we want everything. But some things are already there in Transparent Richmond, as you know. We want to build on that, like tree canopy measures and other built environment measures. Others may be new. I'm wondering if the website is also a place where there's going to be data, or it's just going to be transparent. Like, are you going to build a space on Transparent Richmond just for TCC? You are. Yeah. So then we should talk to know, like, what platform you're using and what's the best way to share that data with whoever's managing that.
Yeah, so the only reason that platform or like page current exists for TCC is when we first applied back in 2020. Created like an example page or application. So it's extraordinarily outdated. A page exists, and definitely happy to have a meeting to discuss that for kind of discuss potential options.
Yeah, we're on the same page. We want to do it.
Do we have any other public comment from project status reports? Do we have anyone in the public from Zoom? No. Okay. Public comment is closed in this item. So report on community questions and comments received. So this space and stage or any type of questions that you receive from community members that you think is relevant to share in this meeting, because this is the public space to do it. So I'm just going to ask if do you have any comments or questions that you have received from community members, residents, any applicants that you have on your projects that need to be reported out? And if you don't have today, it's okay. We can keep track of all the questions that we receive. Okay, if not, I'm just going to continue with the next. Oh, yes.
Would those questions just be related to the projects? Would they Or,
the projects, but do you think, so the questions or comments that you think are relevant to clarify for the rest of the community members? So for example, if people are asking you about, projects, what, can I apply for X or Y project if I'm in this location?
Okay.
Or if I'm a business, can I apply to the, energy efficiency,
Got it.
projects, for example? Like things that you want to share with the rest of the people, and these meetings are going to be recorded. The minutes are gonna be posted in both English and Spanish, so make the most of what we share in here, because it's gonna become public information. Awesome, so, does any project lead have any questions about reporting on community questions and comments received? No, do we have any public comments in relationship to this item? Okay, I'm gonna close public comment and continue with, item 7. So committee business items, so we're finally getting to business. We have 5 items in the agenda. We have governance procedures, committee member roles and responsibilities, key committee priorities, nomination process for community seat, and public kickoff planning. That means Earth Day event on April 20th. So I'm gonna go, directly to the governance procedures. So we sent to everyone across our rules of order. I hope you were able to read it. If you were not able to read it, I'm gonna summarize the basic things that you're supposed to know for the community governance procedures. Number 1 is quorum requirements, and this is an important one for our next meetings. We have a majority, a simple majority rule. So right now, the committee is formed out of 7 people. It will be at some point up to 14 people in the group, but right now we need 4 people to attend the meeting so that there is formal quorum in the event. That means if we don't have 4 people, we cannot make decisions in the committee cannot happen, and then we have to cancel and reschedule for the next one. However, that means because we have a memorandum of understanding and an agreement with the state, that we need to reschedule it for the next, sometime in the next 3 weeks, because we have to have a monthly meeting. So just telling you this, because we are hosting it every first Wednesday of the month, but if we don't do it, we will have to schedule it in one of the next 3 weeks of the month to make it happen monthly. Each discussion item requires the following format, and I started following this format. So we create a report including recommendations. Then we ask if there's any technical clarifications that we require from the topic that has been mentioned, and then give opportunity for public comment. That's kind of like the format that we are following. If there is a decision to make, then we create a motion. Someone has to second the motion. Then we have to repeat the motion. This means I don't know how familiar you are with motions, but it just basically means vehicles for decision making, and that means that we start a discussion on an agenda item, and this helps us decide what we are doing with this item. And the second means someone else supports that decision making that we're doing, and then we repeat it so that everyone sitting down at the table and the public can understand what are we deciding on. And finally, we discuss this voting decision and then vote. And for a decision to be able to be made, we have to have a majority. That means 4 out of 7, or in this case, depending on what we decide on our bylaws, if the number of people who are sitting in the committee. So for example, a majority is 4 members, the majority of the present project leads. So that means if there's only 4 people, then the majority would be 3. I'm just giving an example so it's clear what are we trying to do with this type of requirements. Are there any questions, technical questions from project leads in relationship to this part of the forum and items, discussion items for the rules that we are following, governance procedures? You were gonna say something?
No.
Okay, awesome. Roles and responsibilities. So the committee, as I mentioned before, shall have at least 14 members. Right now, we are not there because we are still missing community seats. we need one project lead from each of the 6 partner organizations. On our previous meeting, we decided it was gonna be 7 since we have Rich City Rights as part of the project leads too. And we're gonna have 2 youth age participants who are gonna be youth fellows that are still not, the program has not started, so we will have them as soon as the project starts. And we will have 3 to 6 seats from community members. We discussed in our previous meeting that we would recruit 3 of them at the beginning of the process, and then 3 more once we have set up all the project programs, and then continue recruiting the rest of them. This community need to be filled by residents or individuals that operate a business or an organization in the project area, and should also reflect each of the neighborhoods of the project area. We send you with all the documents that we submitted for the meeting, the draft that Matthias created for applications for community members. So if you have any comments, please provide them. If you think it's a good format, we will have to finalize that document and be able to share it with the community publicly. So that means we will ask for your support to share it for your own social media, newsletters, and websites, and we will do the same on the city side. So I don't know if we have any questions in relationship to this. Okay, the other thing relevant on the roles and responsibilities discussion is that we can't have no more than 3 unexcused absences. And I think related to this, we want to open the conversation about having someone who can substitute the project lead. And maybe we can try to do a motion to get that going, just to practice
Yeah.
the format of a meeting. Is there anyone who wants to start a motion? Yes.
Sure, I move that we add an alternate in addition to the project lead.
Okay, is there anyone who wants to second the motion? Awesome. So I have project lead Sarah Calderon moving the decision of adding an alternate for the project leads. And if we can have that submission in the next week from each of the project leads to let us know who would be the alternate. I'm gonna add that to the motion. And we had a second from Ambessa Cantave and project lead Terrence Wu. And then we're gonna do voting for the first decision that we're making. So
Discussion? Any discussion?
yeah, well,
Do we have a discussion?
is there any discussion about this? Yeah,
If
what
you
else?
want to follow the process.
Is there any comments in relationship to this or any questions that you have on in relationship to this item?
With that motion, would I need to make another motion to have a different version of that? For example, making a motion to, if necessary, like meet remotely, or is that, okay, so.
Yeah, you can modify the motion actually. I didn't go into the weeds, but the rules
Okay.
and rules include setting up a new motion, and you can definitely do that.
Okay,
What would you like, Vanessa?
Well-
What's the proposal?
I would also like to expand that motion to allow the project lead, if necessary, to meet remotely.
In which cases would you think that's it's a justified option? And the reason that I'm asking this is because our memorandum of
Right,
understanding
right,
mentioned that we need to meet in person.
right.
So,
And
Sarah,
I think it's okay with Rosenberg's rule to expand on a motion, but that's actually a different
Oh,
motion.
that is a
it's a
different
different
motion.
motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I do
Okay.
want to note that I think the MOU does allow for virtual meeting if you can't make it in person, if
Yeah.
there's a reason that you can't.
that's what I'm saying.
Right,
We
okay.
can talk about which are the reasons, because it doesn't specify which are the reasons, so we can talk about it, and we can include it actually in the bylaws. Because this is something that has not been defined to that level, and we can definitely do that, and that's one of the items that we have on the next agenda item, so we can talk about the bylaws, and that's something that we can define ourselves.
Okay.
So, in relation to the previous motion, because this is a different one, we can, I actually forgot what
The vote, no, we're on
the vote, yeah, now we can vote on the motion that, Sarah was proposing. So, having a project, lead and what was the term? Alternate that can, come to the meetings.
Mhm.
Can we get a vote from, project lead for grid,
Yes.
project lead for groundwork,
Yes.
project lead for Reach City Rec, absent, project lead for, trust for public land,
Yes.
project lead for UC Berkeley.
Yes.
Project lead for urban chill.
Yes.
Okay, project lead for city of Richmond, which is me, yeah. So motion, passed, made by project lead Sarah Calderon, seconded, by project lead, Terrence Wu and, Kentavi, Ms. Kentavi. And, it is, the motion passes by a vote of, 6 out of 6, present in the committee. Okay, so,
Just a point of, I think you can only have 1 second, because then it'll be a third.
yeah, but they just read
For the
at the same time, yeah.
Oh.
I wanted to choose one, but I couldn't. So,
Okay, yes.
awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the next item, and this is just something that we discussed online, and that we sent to you, the community agreements. I just wanna put them there. I don't wanna discuss more in detail, because this is gonna go actually with the bylaws. And the decision making that we have to make today is who's gonna be part of the subcommittee, who's gonna participate on creating bylaws, finalizing community agreements and project, roles for chair, vice chair and secretary, officer positions. So, I just want to leave this here for you to review, and, remember that they're on the package that we sent you on the first email that we submitted to you. And, just let you know that this is going to be part of the conversation with the bylaw process. So it's still open to conversation and to change. Just to continue this item, officer appointments. So, we require a 2/3 vote to appoint the following officer positions. We discussed last meeting that it would be a 2-year term, so everyone gets a chance to be part of the committee officer positions. We need a chair, a co-chair, and a secretary. So, that way, every position changes every 2 years, and then people can have the opportunity to be part of the officer positions. Responsibilities are still to be finalized within the bylaws. And so that's the opportunity that we have, to be part of the committee, and we need actually to appoint at least 5 members to review and make recommendations on the adoption of bylaws, key priorities, goals and vision statements. And this needs to be finalized by the 3rd CSC meeting. So today is the first CSC meeting. We need you to volunteer, at least 5 volunteers, and I'm gonna volunteer myself first because I need to be part of this drafting. We sent you the bylaws, the first draft, so you can, the discussion can start from a base of what we have on our current agreement and memorandum of understanding. We also established the key priorities and goals and vision statements. So you have all these documents, but we need to know who would be volunteering for being part of this special meeting.
I'll volunteer to participate.
Thanks, Jason. So we have a super clear project volunteering. Do we have anyone else volunteering for being part of this?
I'll volunteer.
Thank you, Beth. Yeah, we need 5. Thank you, Jern.
I'll volunteer as well.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has.
Everybody.
Okay, thank you. So I have,
It's at least 5, so.
You promoted. I mean, yeah.
No, I don't, my lead isn't here, so I don't want to nominate. But that's a good reason to nominate her in the dark, right?
You can, okay, we can nominate them.
Or the nomination.
Make them the chair and the vice chair.
This is being recorded.
Public.
Okay, so for now, we have UC Berkeley, Great, Trust for Public Land, Urban Tilt, and City of Richmond as part of the, special committee to review and recommend, committee procedures, including bylaws, key priorities, goals, and vision statement, and this needs to be finalized by the third meeting.
Okay.
So we have 2 months to finish this process, just so.
And in the event that our league wants to join, can she?
Absolutely.
I'll let-
Anyone
I'll
else
let
who
her-
wants to join is welcome and, you volunteer.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, we have Rich City Rights volunteering too. Awesome. So we have 6 members out of the, 7 volunteering for the special meeting.
So since we're supposed to appoint them, should we make a motion and second it just so that
Sure.
it's all on the record?
Can I get a motion from someone?
I make a motion to approve all the names that have been stated to be appointed to.
All the appointment.
To the appointment.
I second it.
Can we have a discussion about it? Is there any additional comments, questions? No, we're good. Can we please have, the name of the person who would be part of the work? I guess the people who volunteer here will know, but, for Rich CV, right, it will be, you, my name, yeah. And we can hear from the rest of the people who don't know they will volunteer in the next week. Is that okay? So we can, have this ready for next week. Fantastic. That'll be my only comment to the motion. So can we get a vote now? Project lead or, Trust for Public Land,
Yes.
project lead for Urban Tilt,
Yes.
project lead for, grid,
Yes.
project lead for groundwork,
Yes.
project lead for Reach City Rights, absent, project lead for UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
Project lead for City of Richmond, yeah. So the motion passes with 6 out of 6 votes from, the committee members. Okay. Nomination of community sits. So as I mentioned earlier, we drafted a nomination form that was already submitted. I don't know if you were able to see it and try it. We have both the electronic version and the physical version, so you can provide feedback on any of them and you can try it and see how it works online. The nomination process will be open to all the members who leave or represent an organization located within the project area, as I mentioned before. And community members may be self-nominated or nominated by someone else. But we need to appoint committee seats by 2/3 of the vote. This would be part of the conversation within the bylaws, but just so you know, I wanted to mention this, so you can go back and review the documents. If you have any comments, please submit it. And this will be part of the special committee, meeting conversation. So I'll just leave, that as an extra, point of consideration for what we will be doing in that committee. And just my last, comment in relationship to this item would be, do you think we would like to work on this offline, or would you like us to set up a meeting to have this, conversation? I know we're probably getting tired of having that amount of meetings. I know that, so we can, we have a lot of meetings and we meet with you at least once a month. So I understand that might be a lot of fatigue out of meeting, but we can do this offline if that's your preference. We just need to commit to timelines to be able to fulfill the requirements of having this ready by the 3rd meeting of the CSE committee.
What happens if we don't get enough community nominees?
That is a great question. We will try to do that outreach to actually get them, but we are planning to keep an open process. So we always have applications on the database, And if someone quits or is not able to stay for more than a year, which is the minimum that we're requiring, then we have more people. These are paid positions, so community seats are paid, and that's something that we hope can incentivize having people joining the community.
Are we doing outreach to the neighborhood councils of those neighborhoods?
We're actually starting next week, right, Matias? We're
So
starting
taking
next week.
those nominations to the neighborhood councils of health.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be ready for next week, but we will, yeah, we can
When
definitely do that.
it's ready, we can definitely.
Absolutely. So this was just an extra item that I forgot to include on our previous topic, but yeah, just mentioning that this is part of the bylaws, and we can definitely establish timelines and how do we do outreach, which I think going to the neighborhood council meetings would be very useful to keep this conversation and this application process continues. Okay, so I'm gonna go to,
So we are supposed to appoint the officers in the first.
really? They don't even know what's their responsibility. Because we don't have bylaws, but, okay, well, we need 2/3 of a vote to actually appoint them.
Yeah, I didn't write down what you just said. You have to appoint them at the first meeting, officers will be appointed.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we're all.
Aware, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can always vote next time on different officers. There's nothing saying that we can't change the officers later, if that's helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, we have very tight memorandum of understanding and, but, thanks, Matthias, for bringing that up.
Yeah, 2/3 of our agents.
Okay.
Question,
So-
if we fail to reach 2/3 vote,
We lose all one.
No.
It doesn't say, I don't know how that tight, so it's not really clear.
yeah, because I didn't know if we had that same grace period of up to this month.
I know the other ones do say after the other one, but this one starts, but at its first meeting.
At its first meeting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's flexible in some other code I don't know about in the MOU, but it is explicit, it's a shall.
Okay, then we shall. Okay, so, I can self-nominate myself for the chair because I'm still functioning as a chair, so I will do that, but I need volunteers for the co-chair and secretary. And I know we don't know the exact responsibilities, but what I can tell you is under the responsibilities of the city to provide the agenda and to provide the logistics for the meeting. So we will be doing that. So your position would have responsibilities, but they would not be as heavy as the responsibilities that the city is currently holding. So hope that makes you feel that you want to be part of the officer appointments.
And if the chair can't do it, typically a co-chair takes over the chair's role, and then the secretary
Yeah.
usually takes minutes.
Minutes, exactly.
So that's just general.
Mhm.
We'll definitely, I mean, I will also take minutes and we will be,
And you can, we can have the chair, the co-chair, taking on the chair's, place if something happens, or, and the secretary to review minutes that are taken by the city. You can add anything that was missed or just be the responsible one for reviewing officially. Cheeto, I saw your hand, raising.
Was it?
I-
Yeah.
Looking for.
co-chair.
Yeah, I was
A
a
second.
volunteer for co-chair.
Oh, nice.
So we can do the voting after that. Do we have another volunteer who wants to be, secretary?
Okay, I'll be secretary.
Thanks,
Just for now, we can vote me out.
Vanessa. So, these are the proposals. Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept this slate of officers as
Proposed.
as proposed, yes.
Do we have someone to second?
I second.
Perfect. So, we're now discussing, is there any other discussion about this proposal that you want to have? Any questions, any feedback, any additional comments?
Is there a treasurer?
No, but if you want to create a treasurer position, we definitely can. I
Okay.
mean, that's something that we can do. Matthias can tell you how
Yeah, if you want to go
budgeting.
through these budgets, man, you're.
Oh.
So we can, yeah, I mean, the bylaws do not limit us to have other positions if we're interested in having a treasurer.
At what point are we defining the roles and responsibilities of these three roles?
During the bylaw process. So in the next, before the next two meetings, well, before the third meeting, we have to create all this, define all the positions, the responsibilities, and know if we are gonna create additional, positions. Which we can.
And in the draft bylaw, there are some draft
Mhm.
descriptions of the positions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the folder.
Okay, awesome.
So everything is there and you can start, editing and sending comments, starting now if you want, or whenever you're ready. So, if there's no additional discussion, we're gonna go and vote for that, motion. So, project lead for grid,
Yes, I
project lead for, program work,
Yes.
project lead for city, which you guys, absent, project lead for, trust for public land,
Yes.
project lead for UC Berkeley.
Yes.
Project lead for urban health.
Yes.
Awesome. So, motion approved by 6 out of 6 votes from committee members. And, okay. Yes.
Chair? Yes, Chair. I have to excuse myself. I have a family commitment. I'm sorry, but happy to have joined and volunteered myself for certain things.
Thank you. We appreciate that very much. And
Forward to,
we're not gonna lose form, so I'm not gonna hold you.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Do we have the motion to allow?
Motion to allow me to leave.
Thank you, Jason. Have a good night.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us. And believe it or not, this is the last item on the agenda, so, we're actually not, doing that, in terms of time. So, we have, our public stuff happening on April the 20th. And, we're actually working with Urban Till, to host it at, Junior Park, and it's gonna be, the support that we're getting from Urban Chill is actually being the host of the event. And Our Lady is gonna help us, do all the logistics. You should have received an email from her asking who wants to be a project. I forgot the terms that she used. There's 3 levels of engagement that you can have within the event. And, City of Richmond is gonna be, supporting fully the event, and we're also providing funding from the TCT grant that is especially provided for that event. And we are presenting today the final logo that you provided us feedback on and the draft event mailer for the event. And we'll follow up offline with Our Lady. I'll meet with her next week to chat about this and have more information about what's the next step on this. But just so you can see the modified logo that we have, this is the final version that was provided by Placeworks. Just so you know, we included the changes in the bike and the cyclist, because we heard from different organizations saying that the bike was not very visible, that in some cases it was, it seemed that it was riding at a different. Matthias, can you,
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that.
sorry. That it was obstructing the sidewalk or getting in the way of the pedestrians. So we tried to fix that. We heard also that we didn't have any person with disabilities in the logo. We also heard that, we wanted to see hair or an afro, style from people in the picture to reflect African American people or Black people in the picture. And we heard about the park that it was not the preference from a lot of people, though some people loved it, so that was kind of a hard call that we had. We still heard that the project map was something that everyone liked, as well as the colors. So hopefully this is something that you like. We selected a tree that most people liked, and we kept the children and seniors in the picture, which was something that was requested by the majority of people that we heard from. So I just want to show you this one, the grayscale version that also looks pretty cool for copies when we get them in black and white. And that's the black and white logo, and the white version, which I think also looks pretty good.
That'll be the best one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's any comments that you want to provide right now, this is a good space, and if you want to provide them offline, it's also fine. We want to believe that this is the last version, but if there's like essential comments that you cannot leave with, or things that you cannot leave with this logo, please let us know, because we're happy to hear it. So, any additional comments?
Looks great.
Do
I
you
like
guys
it.
like it?
I like this one a lot.
This is the best one, right?
Yeah.
It looks really good, yeah. I
We
agree.
got like bandanas for the April 20th. I feel like that would be.
The bandanas?
I mean, I feel like bandana, we're just seeing this, I'm like, oh, it's like a bandana.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we don't have any additional comments in relationship to this, I want to show you the event mailer that has been drafted.
Gosh.
So this is the invitation for the event, and we are gonna send you this so you can provide feedback offline, because I think it's gonna be easier. It's both English and Spanish, and it basically talks about the projects that are already operating, and it talks about free e-bike sharing, free fruit trees for neighborhoods and homes, free solar panel and gray water system installation for income qualified homeowners, employment and training opportunities, new bike paths, and more. So we kind of included the benefits that community members can have out of this upcoming today's event. If there's anything that you think we should add, please let us know. And we are talking about celebrating Earth Day and also learning about new programs and projects that are coming to Richmond. And we also have to include the information of the support that is provided by the state, because this is a requirement that they have on their toolkit. And we just translated this into Spanish, included the logos up there that have been representing their projects. And on the other side of the mailer, we just included the schedule and the time and date of the event. So both English and Spanish. And I was asking if you could include all the logos of your organization in here, because that was my first question when I saw this mailer, but I don't know if you would like that.
Jeez.
Because I
Yes.
think that we have space in there to do
Yes.
that.
Definitely.
In terms of the 3 levels of participation on Earth Day, I do remember receiving, so, you know, many organizations have their own Earth Day event. Typically, we have our own Earth Day event, but we decided that this is a kickoff, we'll participate there. But what levels or what opportunities are there? Typically for us, because it's Earth Day, we do tree planting. But if we're going to be at Unity Park, and we have planted trees there, but right now I don't think there are spaces to plant trees. What are the 3 levels?
I don't want to respond to that because it was our lady who presented it last week. Chio, I don't know if you have the details of level of engagement, but I think the highest one was providing either money or donations and being part of the
Sponsoring?
sponsoring. And the second one was being part of the logistic work, but not providing any resources. And the lower one, I would say, would be just part of tabling and participating on the actual event. And for that, you needed to join 2 of the meetings, I believe.
Yeah.
Was am I correct? Yeah.
Okay, forgot.
So I think those were the levels. I don't know how she told each of them, but that was the level. And yeah, so if you can give a read to that email and just respond to her, just so we can continue the offline communication about the event. So we will send this to you with all the documents that we have agreed on today. But, please provide feedback and let us know so we can finalize this version and also share it with you in case you want to use it for other purposes of outreach. And, we are finalizing the database for mailing. Stephanie, actually, our intern, was working with us in the community development department. She's helping us get that database ready for you, not only for mailer purposes, but also for people who want to do outreach, because I know that's something that you need, the addresses, the actual addresses of all the households that are located within the project area. So that is the last item that we actually had on this, does not require voting, because we are just gonna share this with you for feedback. The next item, item number 8 is requests for our next meeting. So if there's any requests that you have to include topics on the next or presentations on the next meeting, please let us know. It doesn't have to be today, but this is in good space in case you want to present something. I was gonna ask Jason if you wanted to present on the indicator tracking and evaluation plan, but I guess we'll have to do that offline. Does any project lead have any other topic that you want to include in the agenda for next meeting? No? Okay, and if there is no any agenda request, is there any agenda request from the public? Okay, awesome. Then I'm going to item number 9, general announcements. So just so you know, CSE members of the public, and other partners and organizations are actually encouraged to share information or announcements related to upcoming events or projects, and any programs or any programs in the project area that benefit residents. So not only in the project area, but that can benefit the residents of the area. Are there any general announcements that any of the project leads would like to share? We just had one. You mentioned one, about the tree giveaway.
Oh, yeah, sixth annual fruit tree giveaway this Saturday, Unity Park Plaza from 10 to 1, or 10 till all trees are gone.
Maybe earlier than that.
We hope so. Yeah, our marketing was a bit different. We sent out 1,000 mailers to the neighbors of the Greenway, and so we're anticipating hopefully 1,000 people, or half of that, at least 500. Yeah, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other general announcements for the week? Any general announcements from the public? Fantastic. So this Richmond Rising, item 10, this Richmond Rising Collaborative Stakeholder meeting is now adjourned. So thanks everyone for being part of this meeting. We really appreciate you being here. We started a little late, but we hope in the next meeting